Imagine if you could eat something that works like a sponge inside your stomach, trapping sugar before it hits your bloodstream. It sounds like magic, but it is actually simple biology. You clicked because you want to know which foods can actually help slow down glucose absorption. You are looking for a way to keep those numbers steady without feeling hungry or deprived. We are going to reveal 3 evidence-based foods that act like a buffer in your system. We will explore the tiny seed that expands to trap sugar, the pantry staple that creates a slow-motion digestion effect, and the green vegetable that mimics the body's natural regulation. Managing diabetes after 50 isn't about starving yourself. It is about understanding the mechanics of your digestion. When you eat simple carbohydrates, they usually rush into your bloodstream like water bursting through a dam. That rush is what causes the spike. Our goal today is to reinforce that dam. We want to turn that rushing river into a gentle, manageable stream. This approach focuses on adding specific textures and fibers to your meals rather than just taking things away. Before we dive into the first food, take a moment to subscribe if you are ready to build a lifestyle focused on vitality and steady energy. We are building a community here that values health over hype. Let's look at the first powerhouse on our list. It is a tiny, unassuming seed that you might have seen in the health food aisle and walked right past. It is the chia seed. You might wonder how something so small can make such a big difference. The secret lies in a unique property called viscosity. If you have ever put chia seeds in water and let them sit for 10 minutes, you know exactly what happens. They do not just get wet. They develop a thick, gelatinous coating. They transform the water into a gel. This transformation is the key to their power. When you eat chia seeds, that same gelling process happens inside your stomach. The seeds absorb liquid and expand, creating a physical barrier. Think of this gel like a soft, slow-moving mesh. When sugar and carbohydrates try to pass through your stomach lining and into your blood, they have to fight their way through this gel first. It slows down the entire digestive process. Instead of a sugar spike, you get a slow, steady release of energy. For many of us over 50, digestion can already be a bit sensitive, so we need to introduce this gently. The best way to use chia seeds is not to eat them dry. Eating a spoonful of dry chia seeds can actually be difficult to swallow and might cause discomfort. You want them to do the work before they reach your stomach. Try mixing a tablespoon into a cup of almond milk or yogurt. and letting it sit in the fridge overnight. By morning, you have a pudding that is ready to go to work for you. It is gentle, easy to chew, and incredibly effective. But there is a catch with fiber that acts like a sponge. A sponge only works if there is water to soak up. If you increase your fiber intake with foods like chia seeds, but you do not increase your water intake, you can end up with constipation. This is especially true as we get older, because our sense of thirst tends to diminish. We might be dehydrated and not even realize it. So the rule of thumb here is simple. For every tablespoon of chia seeds you add to your diet, add an extra glass of water to your daily routine. This ensures the seeds can expand fully and move through your system smoothly, keeping you regular while they manage your blood sugar. Now, you might be thinking that chia seeds seem a bit trendy or modern. Perhaps you want something that feels more like a real hearty meal. That brings us to our second food, which is likely sitting in your pantry right now. It is the humble bean. Whether we are talking about black beans, kidney beans, lentils, or chickpeas, these legumes have a superpower known as the second meal effect. This is one of the most fascinating concepts in nutrition science. Most foods only affect your blood sugar for the few hours after you eat them. Beans are different. The fiber in beans is so robust and complex that it takes a long time for your body to break it down. As your body works on digesting the beans from lunch, it remains in a steady, regulated state that carries over to dinner. Studies have suggested that eating beans at one meal can actually help blunt the blood sugar response at your very next meal, even if that next meal contains sugar. Think of beans as the marathon runners of the food world. They do not just sprint and finish. They keep pacing you for hours. They contain resistant starch, which is a specific type of carbohydrate that resists digestion in the small intestine and travels all the way to the large intestine. Once there, it feeds the good bacteria in your gut. A healthy gut microbiome is increasingly linked to better blood sugar control and improved insulin sensitivity. However, I know what many of you are thinking. Beans can be tough on the stomach. The concern about gas and bloating is real, and it is a major reason why people avoid them. If you have a sensitive stomach, you do not have to give up on beans. You just have to prepare them correctly. If you are using dry beans, the secret is soaking them overnight and tossing out that soaking water before you cook them. That water pulls out many of the compounds that cause gas. If you are using canned beans, which are perfectly fine and very convenient, pour them into a colander and rinse them thoroughly until the bubbles disappear. This washes away excess sodium and those gas-producing starches. For those with dentures or difficulty chewing, beans are wonderful because they can be cooked down to be extremely soft. You can mash them into a dip, blend them into a soup, or stew them until they are tender. You get all the benefits of the fiber without the struggle of chewing through tough vegetables. Start small. You do not need to eat a whole bowl of chili to see benefits. Just a quarter cup added to your salad or soup can start to provide that stabilizing effect. This leads us to our third food. And I have to warn you, this one is polarizing. People either love it or they hate it, usually because of its texture. But interestingly enough, the texture is exactly why it works. We are talking about okra. If you have ever cut into fresh okra or stewed it, you know it has a slimy quality. In the culinary world, that slime is often seen as a defect to be cooked away. But for a diabetic, that mucilage is medicinal gold. Much like the gel from chia seeds, the viscous substance in okra acts as a powerful filter in the digestive tract. It effectively coats the intestinal lining and slows down the rate at which glucose is absorbed. It binds to cholesterol as well, helping to carry it out of the body rather than letting it settle in your arteries. It creates a physical shield that forces your digestion to pump the brakes. There is also evidence suggesting that seeds within the okra pod may help inhibit enzymes that break down carbohydrates. This means fewer carbs are turned into sugar in the first place. It is a double-barreled approach to stability. No, because texture is the big hurdle here. How you cook, it matters. Deep frying okra helps with the texture, but the added breading and inflammatory oils defeat the purpose. Instead, try roasting it. When you slice okra and roast it in the oven with a little olive oil and salt, the slime factor is significantly reduced, and you get a crispy, savory vegetable that is easy to eat. You can also throw it into soups and stews where the thickening agent is actually a benefit. It makes the broth rich and hearty without needing to add cornstarch or flour, which would only spike your sugar. If you absolutely cannot stand okra, There is an alternative that works on a similar principle. Eggplant is another vegetable that has a spongy texture and high soluble fiber content. While it is not quite as potent as okra, it is a great substitute if you just cannot get past the slime. The goal is to find the sponge that you will actually eat. Consistency beats perfection every single time. We have covered the 3 foods, but we need to talk about how this fits into your actual life. It is easy to watch a video and nod along, but putting it into practice can be tricky. One of the most common questions I hear is about timing. When should you eat these foods? The answer is to prioritize them earlier in the meal if possible. Think of your meal like packing a suitcase. You want to put the big protective items in first. If you can eat a few spoonfuls of bean salad, or have that okra side dish before you dig into rice or potatoes, you are setting up that safety net before the sugar arrives. You are priming your system to handle the load. This is sometimes called food sequencing, and it is a simple habit that costs nothing but requires a little mindfulness. Let us address a very serious consideration for our age group: medication. Many of us take daily prescriptions for various conditions. Because these foods act like sponges, there is a possibility they can be too effective. If you eat a large amount of binding fiber like chia or psyllium husk at the exact same time you take your medication, the fiber might absorb some of the medicine and carry it out of your body before it can work. This is why timing is crucial. A good general rule is to separate your high-fiber sponge meals from your medication by about 1 to 2 hours. Take your meds, let them absorb, and then enjoy your hearty oatmeal or chia pudding. Or eat your meal and wait a bit before taking your evening pills. Always check with your doctor or pharmacist about your specific prescriptions. They can tell you which ones are sensitive to fiber intake. We want to improve your health, not interfere with the treatments you are already using. Another common objection is the budget. We are all watching our wallets these days. The beauty of these 3 foods is that they are generally very affordable. Dried beans and lentils are among the cheapest foods in the grocery store. Chia seeds might seem expensive by the bag, but because you only use a tablespoon at a time, 1 bag can last you for months. Frozen okra is often available year-round and is just as nutritious as fresh. often at a lower price point. You do not need exotic superfoods from specialty stores to get these benefits. Let's also talk about quantity. You do not need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. In fact, doing so usually leads to an upset stomach. Your gut bacteria need time to adapt to new levels of fiber. If you are not used to eating beans, start with just a tablespoon or two a day. If you have never tried chia seeds, start with a teaspoon. Give your body a week to adjust, then slowly increase the amount. Slow and steady wins the race. We are looking for lifelong changes, not a 2-week detox that leaves you miserable. Think about how you can incorporate just one of these foods into your routine tomorrow. Maybe it is swapping your usual breakfast cereal for a chia pudding. Maybe it is adding a half cup of lentils to your lunchtime soup. Maybe it is deciding to be brave and try roasting some okra for dinner. These small choices compound over time. Every time you choose a sponge food, you are giving your pancreas a break. You are smoothing out the peaks and valleys of your energy levels. The feeling of stable blood sugar is worth the effort. It is the difference between needing a nap at 2 p.m. and having the energy to go for a walk or play with your grandchildren. It is the difference between brain fog and mental clarity. These foods are tools, and now you know how to use them. As we wrap up, I want you to remember that your body is resilient. It responds to the care you give it. You are not defined by a number on a glucose monitor. You are defined by the choices you make to support your vitality. If you found this explanation helpful and want to learn more about simple, gentle ways to improve your health, please click the like button. It helps other people find this information. And make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss our next video, where we will be talking about the hydration hacks that keep your energy up without frequent trips to the bathroom. Go check your pantry. You might already have a sugar sponge waiting for you. Soak some beans, mix some chia, or roast some okra. Your body will thank you for the support. Here is to your health, your smile, and your vitality.